the Talkshow with Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin, and I am here today on episode number 15 with one of my old coworkers and good friends, David Webb.
Thanks, bro, for having me on the show. How y'all doing?
Thanks for joining me today, bro. If you can just go ahead and introduce yourself, like who you are, what do you do for a living, fun fact about yourself.
My name is David Webb. My artist name is David Benjamin. I am a new up-and-coming artist out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'm a teacher at the YWCA in Lancaster. I work with school-age kids before and after school program, and also during like summer camp. Um, and I'm a musician. I play drums, piano, and I'm also a producer as well.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty dope, man. So yeah, man, let's get into the reason why we're all here today. We're going to start off by talking about like being a new dad. So tell me about a little bit, like, were you hoping for like a boy or a girl?
I ain't gonna lie. I was hoping for a girl because when when Kobe died, everybody wanted to be a girl dad and stuff like that. But it didn't play out that way. God gave me a boy, which I'm appreciative of that. Because I got my junior.
Right,
Um,
right.
so I'm glad that happened.
Right, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's definitely dope. Hopefully, I want a boy first as well because we want to have like
Yeah,
3 kids. So I want to make sure we have at least one boy because I need one.
right. The crazy thing about it, I mean, I actually wanted a girl because the whole girl dad phase that was going on, with Kobe and stuff like that. But after a while, I mean, I'm kind of glad, that he blessed me with a son because, like, you know, with me being a father, me, I've probably been overprotective and stuff like that. Like, but
Right,
I'm glad he blessed me with a son first.
for sure. So, what kind of changes did you have to make, like adjustments? Because I feel like you go from like doing whatever you want, whenever you want, to now like you have to think about what you're about to do because of having a kid.
Well, to be honest with you, I had to cut down gigging a lot. I mean, I'm a musician. I play drums and I play piano as well for like a couple local artists, and sometimes I travel. I had to cut gigs in half because before my wife had the baby and stuff like that. I was always on the road, like traveling New York, Harrisburg, and like this, always on the go, like trying to make money as far as like gigs and stuff like that. But I had to kind of like cut it in half because like spend more time with my wife and spend more time with the kid.
Hmm.
Because you can't get those times back that you missed and stuff like that. So like I just had to like cut gigging in half and stuff like that. But I know I still do it, but I don't do it as much.
Right. Yeah, yeah, that definitely makes
Yeah.
sense. Like having a kid, like has it like caused like any tension between you and your wife now at all? Like you guys tend to butt heads, or you guys team up a little bit even better now?
I mean, it's 50-50. Like I mean, because at the end of the day, we both want what's best for our son.
Hmm.
Like sometimes, like we may get into little arguments, but it'll be little simple things. But like none of us will be wrong. It's just we both were like raised up differently, as a child growing up. So like after a while, we sit down and think about it. Like yo, like this argument was stupid. Like what I mean, let's let it like yeah, let's let it go or
Right.
whatever. But like at the end of the day, we both want what's best for our son, and like sometimes it may seem like one's showing too much attention or one's showing not showing enough attention to to the baby and stuff like that. So like I mean, it's a work in progress. Like at the end of the day, like I look at it this way: we're both teammates or whatever. Whenever I get off work or whatever, and she's home with him, I'll take over. She can play the game or whatever she wants to do. Like she's a gamer and I'm a gamer too as well.
Hmm.
But we just like trying to take turns, or whatever. Get a couple hours, like a couple hours there, and it works.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty dope for
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
sacrifice. Yep.
exactly. It's all about working together and just trying to find a good balance too. Because like if you're the only one putting in all the work and stuff like that, while like say she's over there just chilling the whole time, like you gonna get drained and overrun and stuff like that. And then like you
Right.
gotta you gotta be able to have that balance though too to work
Right.
together. So no, yeah, that's
The one
pretty
thing I
dope.
was Yeah, the one thing I would say about her, like she's understanding because like with me working with kids like between 8 and 9 hours each day, like I deal with like 25 kids like on a daily basis, screaming and stuff like that, and then I gotta
Right.
come home and I gotta switch gears and hop into daddy mode and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes it can be tough, but like she helps out a lot with that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely dope, man. Um, So like, what are some of the things you want your like give your kid a chance to do, like playing sports wise or activities or anything like that? I know he's still
Um,
young and all, but I know you're
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about it.
yeah. But yeah, I definitely want to give him the opportunity to like play sports because like I mean, growing up,
Yes.
I played sports a little bit or whatever. But I never really had that much support. Was from my parents because they were in the church and like growing up in a black church, it was more like it was church and that was it, church and school, and
Hmm.
you didn't really get as much as support, in the sports and stuff like that. But like growing up, I was pretty good in sports, so like that would be something I would want him to do, like try out different sports, or even if he doesn't want to do sports, if he wants to do music or whatever. I
Hmm.
mean, just to basically support him in whatever he wants to do. Like to be honest with you, if he wants to be a professional tambourine player, I mean, I gotta support him, man. Like
Right. Yeah.
let's play the heck out of the that tambourine, yo. But
Exactly.
but at the end of the day, like just like just to be supportive of him and whatever he decides to do.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. But like having a kid, like I also gotta like one of the thoughts that come through like me and my girlfriend's mind right now is like what school district are we going to live in and stuff like that. Like I feel like that's always important to think about because like
Definitely, yeah.
because like coming from like I went to Steel High is not the greatest school district to like live in for like academic wise. So but they're really known
Right.
for sports, so it's just like you get one or you get the other. But I like it just makes you wonder, like, do you want your kid to have a really good education, or are you going to have them have a crappy education? So like I always think
Right.
that like that's
Exactly.
important to think about as well.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
But how has your mental health have like been during this whole becoming a dad? Like, have you took a toll at all?
Yeah, it's been rough. Like because growing up, I've been battling depression for a minute now or whatever, and like my wife has too. But like the fact is that we have each other, and like sometimes it can be rough, but sometimes like she'll just come to me and be like, "Yo, like babe, like are you okay? Is there anything you want to talk about?" And vice versa or whatever, and that it's helped a lot. Like I said, being married or whatever, it's not easy. It takes work or whatever. But like to have a partner that basically kind of has your back and like basically going through the same thing, and you can basically confide in each other and like and just talk things out. Like
Hmm.
like I kind of look at her like as like she's like my best friend. Like I mean, I have other friends, but like I kind of look at her as like my best friend because we have a lot in like common when it comes to like uh certain things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, that's awesome to have somebody like that because like I would feel bad like those single parents or like people who have like in a relationship that are arguing and fighting all the time where they're at each other's throats like left and right. Like you're already dealing with like mental health issues and now like they're adding on to the issues and making things worse and not being there to support you when they're supposed to be your best friend. They're supposed to be there to support you and stuff like that. But yeah, that's awesome to hear that she's able to be
Absolutely,
there for you for sure, man.
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But you got any last thoughts or anything like that for being a new dad, like how it feels or anything before we move on to the next
I
segment?
mean, like I said, it's great. Like you just gotta have patience. Like one thing I can say with me being a father, it taught me patience because before I didn't have the type of patience. Like
Hmm.
somebody would tell me certain something out of pocket, and I'm like ready to snap or whatever. But like with yeah, like with me, having him, it just basically taught me a lot of patience and how to like take things one step at a time instead of just like always being on 100. Like just take things at a time. Like things will come to me. Just don't be so quick to like rushing into certain things. But yeah, like with him, he taught me a lot of patience and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like I feel like I'm like one in the same. Like I have like zero patience for a lot of things, but I feel like once having
Right.
a kid, that'll probably help me gain that
Yeah.
skill and learn it because it's going to be a necessity to have patience for sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
But again, congrats on being a dad for sure, man. But let's move on to another love, another passion of your life, your music. Tell me about it. Like,
Yeah.
when did this music thing come to you? Did you start creating music when you were young, or is it something new that you discovered?
Um, I started off in church. Like I've been playing drums since I was like 4 years old.
Hmm.
And then as I grew playing in the church, um, I wanted to try something else. Like, I mean, I love drums, but I wanted to try something else. So my next love was piano. So I ended up learning how to play the piano at the age of like 14, and just took off with that. Where like now I'm better at the piano than I am at the drums. Um, but like I've been like writing my own songs, like even with like within church, like since I was like 12 or 13 years old, just like making up like certain songs and like just singing it around the house and stuff like that. And then got older and I got better at it, and then went to like middle school and just started rapping and stuff like that. And like kids, at your lunch table, drumming, making beats or whatever, and just like
Right.
spitting bars. That's all I did, and like used to get in trouble for it, but at the end of the day, they paid off. But yeah, like music has been my thing since I was a youngin. Like shoot, since like I said before, I could even talk or whatever. Like clearly, I like music's been everything. But like just recently, like I said, the past year, I had a conversation with my brother. My brother, he's an artist as well. Like shout out to spoken music. Um, he I look at him as as a role model. Like he basically kind of like coaches me, gives me constructive criticism when when something isn't right. He'll be like, "Yo, bro, like this beat should be like this way," or flip this verse around. Like he's been always been like a mentor and like somebody who I can really confide in as becoming an artist, because he's already there, and he's to the point where like he's well known. So like for me, like being an artist, it's not more like for like wanting to be well known. It's basically kind of to get my message across as far like in my music, whoever's going through whatever I'm like I've been through or I'm going through, like kind of to basically touch them and like get them out of the situation that they're in, or going through or whatever. So like I look at music as a window to like or a platform to get myself out to whoever may need to hear a message or whatever from me and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, that's dope. So what are your goals with your music? Like, do you plan on trying to like obviously make it big, like continue to keep producing music, or is this something that you just do just for fun?
Um, I would say like right now, I'm releasing this single because like I basically what really got me to release this single is my son, and like for some reason, like ever since my wife is like pregnant, like I've been having like this like one melody, like this certain melody in my head, and I'm like, yo, I gotta get it down, and then once I got it down, talked to my brother, we laid stuff down, we started recording, and then he was like, yo, bro, like you have potential, you have potential, like you got it, like
Yeah, that's
like
dope.
this is something I wouldn't like. He was like, I wouldn't stop doing what you're doing, but at the end of the day, he said like, start. He was like, set yourself up as far like let people know who you are as a producer or whatever. Get your music out there, like produce whatever for everybody else, and then he said that will make a name for yourself. Like for example, he was telling me that's how for one Kanye West he had gotten known. Just coming to a studio with Jay-Z, like just laying beats down, letting them listen to beats, and next thing you know, Jay-Z got him on a record deal, making beats for him, and next thing you know, he's an artist. Like they say, basically,
Okay.
like get yourself known like that. Like set yourself up, uh, for something good. Don't set yourself up for failure. Basically, is what he told me. So like, yeah, I can see myself, really being an artist, sometime soon. But right now, I'm looking at, getting myself established as a producer and as an engineer before I really take off with this whole music thing. But eventually, I would love to be considered an artist.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely dope.
Yeah.
So, what kind of music do you create? Like, is it specifically like hip hop and rap, or do you dive into other genres at all?
I do a lot of hip hop and rap, R&B, and also inspirational as well. Because I got to get back to the roots that were grounded in me. So like I do it all as far as like R&B, hip hop, gospel. Um, I'm just like very like soulful, like neo soul and like all that kind of stuff. Like that's what I'm really into.
Okay. Have you collaborated with anybody else other than like your brother yet?
I'm in the works right now with like a couple other artists that are local in my city. Like for example, my man So True, shout out to him, and my man Sam. I'm working on some couple of things with him, but my goal is to like branch out with other local artists and like work on a big project, for the community and everything else like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually had a couple other artists on my show in the past, so I could definitely link you guys up to. They do rap, hip hop, R&B, all kind of stuff like that. So I think it'd be pretty cool to start
That'll
seeing
be dope. Yeah,
more artists in the area like link up and create collaborations and stuff like that. And like you could help each other
absolutely.
grow and then like combining communities because like your group of listeners start listening to him and then his listeners start listening to you and then boom, you guys are doubling your crowd and
Yup.
stuff like that. So like and
Exactly.
slowly you start building
Exactly.
up and stuff like that. So I'll definitely send each other, both of y'all, like everybody's links and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely dope. But where
Absolutely.
can we find your music at right now? Is it on like Apple Music, Spotify, stuff like that, or will be? I should say.
Um, it will. Yeah, it will be like right now. It's in a process. I have this last part where I'm having like live like instruments being put inside of this track as well. But hopefully I'll say by the end of August where it should be like out. So like let's be on the lookout for that. But it should be on all social media platforms.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, definitely once it's up, man, and I start seeing you post it and share it and stuff like that. You already know I'm definitely get it out to my community that I have here with the Chill Zone. So definitely looking forward to
Definitely
listening to
appreciate
it
it.
myself and sharing it out there. Um, so like,
Absolutely.
what has been your favorite part about making music? Like, is it just going into the studio and enjoy, like taking in the whole like environment, or is it just like the creative process of like I'm sitting here just trying to think up of a beat or lyrics and stuff like that? Like, tell me about it. What's your favorite part?
Yeah, I would have to say this basically being like, I mean, of course, like the atmosphere, but like just being creative, like let my brain go to work. Like sometimes, like I'll just hear a bunch of crazy things, and like I'm like will mimic it on like the piano or whatever, and just like actually, it becomes a whole beat. But like, yeah, definitely the creative part is like my favorite part of in the studio and stuff like that, or being an artist.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah, it's crazy to think like because me being a creative as well, it's just like creativity just comes to you like at like any given moment. You're just like I'm trying to go to sleep. Like last night, literally, I was trying to go to sleep, but I was up till 4 a.m. trying to create like our promotional image and stuff like that, or my mom's happy birthday post. Like I was really trying to go to sleep, but my mind was like, nope, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna go be creative. And I was just like,
Yup.
fuck it, I guess I'll be up
Yup.
till 4 a.m. Gonna be tired as shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's
Yup.
just crazy how that stuff works. But I enjoy it, man. Like if you don't enjoy it, then you're going to
Absolutely.
be miserable and you're going to produce bad content and stuff like that. So I think that's big. So who has been
Exactly.
your biggest
Exactly.
supporter so far? Has it been your wife? Has she been like helping out at all?
Yeah, my wife, she's been a very great supporter. Like sometimes where I'm like that, like I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know if I can do this. And she's like, stop being negative. Like think about the positive. Like what if you don't do it? Like what's gonna happen? Like your best thing is just do it. Like just don't
Hmm.
try to spread yourself thin, but like just do it. And the same thing with my older brother as well. Smoking music with his name is Dewan Rosado. Um, he's been another one that's been in my corner, like just like pushing me and egging me on to do better as far as like being a musician or an artist. Period. Like he's been like egging me on, like yo, bro, like have you been practicing your skills? Have you been doing this? Like, have you been like making X amount of beats a week or whatever? Like just basically making sure that I'm on my piece and I'm on my cues as well.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
all. It's definitely dope to have someone in your corner who's pushing you too, because like sometimes you need that extra push. Some days you just like, man,
Mhm.
I don't really feel like doing this today, and all it takes is that one person to be
Yep.
like, yo, let's go do this, or yo, I think you should do this, and you be like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm gonna go do it, and then it turns into being something that you weren't expecting it to be, and then you're like,
Exactly.
yo, this is dope. But it's always cool to see that happen for sure. But
Exactly.
so like so do you have you produced music for anybody else yet, like beats or anything?
Um, basically, this for my brother. I produced a couple of drunks for him. He's working on his EP right now, but I did like probably did about good like 4 or 5 beats on his EP that he's about to release soon. But I've made beats and like sold beats to like other people and uh from hair on and hair out. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's dope. Actually, speaking about it, since I'm a big gamer as well, and I like to put together some montages, I would love to get some beats from you and like put it over top my montage clips and stuff like that, or highlights and stuff like that.
Absolutely,
So I could definitely help put you out there too, while I'm also putting myself out there. So it'd be pretty cool to have that kind of collaboration with you. So I'm definitely want to do that for sure.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
what's some advice for people who are much younger, like kids and stuff like that, that want to get into the music industry and want to become an artist and produce music? What are some of the tips or advice or anything you can give them?
I would say, it takes a lot of discipline. Like if you're gonna like, want to be an artist, you gotta put, you know, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into, your craft. If you're thinking you're gonna like make it on a free ride, I mean, it's not gonna work. Like you gotta put like blood, sweat, tears in your music or whatever you're gonna do. Like yeah, it. Trust me, there's been times where like I've wanted to pull my hair out, and this is sometimes where like, you know what, I'm glad I did this, because if I wouldn't have did this, you know, I would have just let it went to waste and stuff like that. So like definitely, time, effort, patience. That's all it takes.
It seems we were circling back to that patience thing again. Just have patience, no
Yeah,
matter what it
patience
is.
is
Have
key.
patience.
Patience, yep,
Yeah, that's dope. But
absolutely.
any last comments, remarks, advice, or anything on your music or anything before we move on to our last segment?
Um, I don't think I have anything else.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on to another thing that you got going on too, is your clothing line. This is something new. Actually, I didn't
Yeah,
even know you had there for a while. And then boom, I see you post about it a couple of times. I was like, oh, this is dope. Tell me about it.
yeah.
What made you create a clothing line?
Just the fact that like, when like, how can I explain it? Like you see all these other brands, and like people just do everything just for these brands, and like people will pay an arm and a leg. Say for example, like a Gucci shirt. Cash will pay like $120 for a Gucci shirt, but you won't pay a measly $30 for, your homie shirt that has a clothing line. So like my thing was, I wanted to create something that my community or any community, you know, could relate to and feel like they can like wear it like anywhere. Like
Mhm.
basically, you go to the office, wear a suit jacket or whatever, you can just rock that T-shirt or whatever. Like I wanted to be able to relate to any and everybody, and like that was the whole purpose of like the whole clothing line. Because like me growing up, I used to like draw pictures of like jerseys or like shirts with like my name and stuff on it, like thinking like, maybe if I could, send these out, maybe I might get, recognized as, an artist for somebody to, make their clothes and stuff for them. But like after a while, as I just got older, and I'm like, yo, like I gotta really like put the effort and time, to do this. Like I would say if it wasn't for like the pandemic, I mean, like being laid off for work for, X amount of time, um, I would have never had the time to really even sit down and even get the clothing line together. It took literally like for me to be off for like 2 months, um, and have that time to like get everything together. And that's how it came about.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I feel like the pandemic has created a lot of good things, man. Like, I mean, granted, it was a very bad time for everybody, but it also created a lot of things. Like, look, you were able to have the time to create your clothing company. Honestly, the pandemic is the reason why I have a podcast and a talk show and my brand myself. So it's just like it's pretty cool to see the different impacts, both good and bad, from the pandemic. But it also
Right.
ultimately leads
Right.
to a better person. But what is your clothing line called? Like, what's the brand name?
My clothing line is called Clout Royal Apparel. Um, the meaning for my name, as people may know, like they think it as clout as a bad thing, like a song that says they do anything for clout. So I wanted to take that and make it a positive thing. So there's another definition for clout, um, meaning like it's for in the form of business, power, like basically royalty and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I wanted to like combine something that was for like business, like royalty, like kind of. I wanted one of my clients to like kind of look, or customers to think as herself as kings and queens. So like
Mhm.
that's how Cloud Royal Apparel came about. I just wanted everybody to feel like they were like royalty as far as customers and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually never knew that there was a more prestige definition of clout. I always think like always a clout chaser. Like it was always negative, like when you think about it. But
Yeah,
I like what you're trying to do here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you brought up the idea of your clothing line while we worked together at Men's Warehouse. If I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
you were
yep,
drawing it up and thinking about
absolutely,
it and stuff like that during that time. So yeah, it's dope.
yeah.
I personally don't have a shirt yet, so I gotta get a shirt.
Let me know,
I definitely got to
yeah.
get one for sure, man. Because I don't know if you know, but in my gaming podcast, I like to wear different graphic T-shirts. So I'm gonna start buying different shirts from local artists and stuff like that, and advertise them on my show as well. So I'm definitely grabbing one of yours, probably next week or this Friday, actually. If now that you
Absolutely.
think about it, but it, where can we find your shirts at or your clothing line? Do you have a website?
Right now, all my stuff is on Instagram at Clap Royal Apparel underscore 2020. And also it's on Facebook at Clap Royal Apparel. Right now I'm in the midst of like working on a website. I just been like so busy, but like working, the kid and like music and stuff like that. Haven't really got a chance to like fully develop a website, but like you can get a lot of the stuff off like Facebook or Instagram, and you just like message me and put in your order and like go for that way from that way.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty dope. I'll make sure to list all that kind of information in the description for the YouTube video so people can check that out for sure. But do you have plans on like opening up your own shop or anything like that?
Um, I did like last summer. This is before the whole pandemic thing happened. I did have my apparel and merchant um inside of a store. But due to the fact of like the whole pandemic, everything was shut down. So I had moved my stuff from the store and just been like making everything on the go from my house and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually didn't even think about
Yeah.
putting it into an established store and just use it as a brand and stuff like that, as opposed to just opening up like your specific own shop, like one step at a time. You gotta have patience, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So right now, like, how do you go about marketing your clothing company? Like, do you just post on social media, or do you plan on get like commercials and like maybe put it in magazines or anything like that?
Um, lately, what I've been doing, people have been like buying a bunch of shirts for me and whatever, and like, what I tell my customers, I'm like, if you get a shirt from me, um, take a picture of the shirt and post it on social media. Make sure you tag me and make sure you tag Clockboy Apparel into it. Um, lately, and also my brother and a couple of my other musician friends, they've copped a shirt from me and stuff like that. And when they ever have like their gigs or whatever, they just rock it, and people are I like your shirt. Where do you get it from? And they just let me talk. They let them know like they got it from David Webb or whatever, me or whatever. And then like next I get people like liking like the like my business page and stuff like that, and like asking me hey man, I need a shirt or whatever. But that's basically that. But a lot of word of mouth, and like also people seeing like visually like the shirts and stuff like that.
Okay. Have you thought about creating like a YouTube channel or like even a TikTok? Because TikTok's big right now for like merchandise and advertising. And I think it'd be cool to like produce some kind of cool TikTok where it includes your clothing line and your music, because you can put it all together and advertise that way. And then there's tons of TikTok influencers that you can use as well. Have you thought about going down that avenue?
To be honest, I never thought about that. Like, that's actually pretty great idea. Like that, like you learn something new every single day. But yeah, that definitely would be something that I would definitely like to do. So like, yeah, that's great. That's some good stuff.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. I
Right,
just thought about it right now, like thinking about like your music and your clothing line and stuff like that. So yeah, that would definitely be dope to
right.
see. But so what's your ultimate goal with this? Like, do you just want to keep it small? Like, do you want to open up your own shop, or you just want to be in small shops? Like, what's your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to basically kind of have my own store, like whether it be like in a mall or somewhere, like just that basically kind of have my own store, and hopefully eventually have multiple stores where like I'm like known like worldwide or whatever for my brand and stuff like that. But yeah, like that's the goal that I'm in every like basically every every like everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely dope. So right now, like, do you just have t-shirts or do you have hoodies? Do you have sweatpants? Yeah. What all clothing items do you got?
Um, right now I have t-shirts and hoodies right now, but eventually I'm trying to do more like as far as like having a full set as far as like a full like shirt and short set or pants and like sweatshirt like set as well or whatever. But like that's my goal. But I'm working on things as and now as we speak and stuff like that.
Okay. And then for your clothing, like, is it unisex? Like, do you have it both for male and female, or
Yes, yes, yeah. Yep, male and female. Yep,
okay?
absolutely.
What about kids? Like, granted, because I'm circling back to you having a kid. Like, do you have stuff for kids or even toddlers and stuff?
Yeah, I have stuff for kids too. I actually just recently did a photo shoot with my sister and her kids and stuff like that, and like the whole family was like decked out with clout royal apparel, and she's pregnant now, but she has one of her youngest is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're one going to be two, and like um she was sporting and stuff as well. Like, so I work in all sizes and ages and stuff as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. Have you thought about collaborating with any other like clothing line, like local ones? Because I know there's tons of them. Everybody's like this is like everybody likes to get in that kind of creative space.
I honestly like I haven't, but I would love to do that. Like for me, I'm not a selfish person. Like I love to like get people involved and like put people on or for people to put me on. Like I've always been that type of person. Like I've always been a humble like type dude or whatever, and like whatever it'll take to get us like on the top. Like I'm for it.
Hmm. Have you thought about like attending like community events where you just set up like a tent, like advertise your stuff, like have like a table, some of your items that you can sell there right on the spot? Have you thought about setting something up like that?
Uh, I- I've only done that once, and that was for I actually did that for like a basketball tournament. They had different vendors and stuff like that, and I actually sold a bunch of like T-shirts there. But like yeah, that's the only time I've ever like did that is for like a basketball event.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that would be
Yeah,
very successful to at least start something small like that. Like get into the community, like get your name out there, and then slowly progress into like bigger cities and whatnot. I think that would just be my recommendation again on that. But
absolutely.
yeah, man. Any other comments or remarks regarding your clothing line?
None at all.
Okay, cool. So we're just going to end here with, or we're going to end with one more segment here, what we call the deep freeze moment of the week. Um, so I'm going to ask you a question here, like, what does vulnerability mean to you?
Vulnerability. I just vulnerable. I would say what it means to me is like making yourself like an easy target if I may say it that way, if I'm wording it correctly, like being open to any and everything. If that's why I feel like vulnerability is like making yourself easy to get or whatever.
So would you think vulnerability is good or bad?
I think it could be either way. Like you can be vulnerable to something good as far as like setting yourself up for something great, or like saying setting yourself up for something bad. Like for example, like I'm going to use an example, like a girl, for example, with her being super vulnerable, like trying to talk to a guy knowing that he's a player, but like she still wants him anyway, and she knows for a fact she's gonna get her heart broken. Like feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So, well, I bring this up because I'm reading a book right now called Dare to Lead by Brené Brown, and it's been teaching me a lot about the first section of the book talks about vulnerability, and basically breaks it down to is like vulnerability is actually a good thing because like it allows us to be open, knowing that there are possibilities for being attacked, being harmed, whether it's physically or emotionally, but it all boils down to trust. Like your example when you're opening up to a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, like you're being vulnerable at that. You're at your like most open to them. Like you're trying to get to know that person, but you know that that person can, at any given moment can be like, yeah, I'm not into you. and then you're heartbroken, then you're devastated because maybe you
Right.
gave everything into that. So like it really can break you down. But like without vulnerability, you're never going to take risks if you're not vulnerable, because like then you're going to be
Right.
shielded up with a wall. You're not vulnerable, you're not open, like you're closed minded then. So like I always think it's important for people to be vulnerable and like really think about it, because like some people really try to like close themselves off, and it can really mess up a lot of decisions you make, and like miss out on a lot of opportunities. So I just wanted
Right.
to bring it up and make you think about it and stuff like that. I definitely highly recommend that book. That book makes you do a lot of different things, whether it's like texting certain friends or family members on what you should do, and then like it's a really in-depth book. I was like really like blown away by how much content is in this book, and then outside of the book, because she has a website that supports it as well.
Right. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. That sounds like a great book.
Yeah, I
Sounds
grabbed it
like a
from
real
Target
great
one
book.
day. I was going shopping. I was like, yo, this book looks cool. Let me grab it. I was like, yo, this book's crazy. This is like one of the best books I've ever read. So I was like, I got to get this out there, put some more content from what she's talking about into the mix. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
but yeah, man, what a conversation we just had though for the past. It's been about almost 45 minutes here. But it is time to wrap things up. So I definitely want to take the time to thank you again for joining me on the 15th episode here.
Thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Of course, and I definitely want to thank everybody who checked us out live today on Twitch, and also everybody who does check us out later on our YouTube channel. Definitely be sure to check us out every other Monday at 7 p.m. live here on this specific channel, which is twitch.tv x the underscore chill underscore zone x. It's pretty convoluted, I know, because someone wanted to steal the chill zone. So definitely check us out. But David, where can we find you at, man?
You can find me on Facebook, at David Benjamin on Facebook, and also on Instagram at Do It for Clout on Instagram as well.
Okay. You can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin underscore. Xbox is X Never space chillin. Facebook is Vic Brubacher. Question, concerns, you want to come on the show, hit me up. Also, my personal Twitch channel is twitch.tv/ Mr. Never Chillin. But I've been streaming a lot here on the channel, so if you want to check that out, check it out here. Definitely want to give you a reminder. In 2 weeks, we got another live episode. We'll be featuring Tristan Bond. He's an artist from the Harrisburg area, and he's blooming. So definitely want to make sure you check him out on Sunday. Monday at 7 p.m., which is in 2 weeks. But we also have our gaming podcast every Sunday at 7 p.m. But definitely want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.